Hello and welcome back. G-Man is in the studio lab. Today I'm servicing an old Roland RS-09. It's a somewhat basic organ and string synthesizer produced in 1980. The chorus is pretty good. In fact, it has an external input for running outboard gear through the chorus. Very nice. So what's going on with this one? Many of the fader controls are needing help. As per usual, the output level switch on the back needs a good cleaning. Mainly, the buttons on the front panel are doing nothing. Furthermore, the panel controls are coming loose. That's because it's held in place by these little plastic rivets. The backside fastener for these rivets are starting to turn to goo. Other than that, the lever switches, keys, and rotary pots seem fine. First thing I will need to remove is the output board. That's where the output switch lives. Then we see there are two control boards, one of which is piggybacked onto the other. It uses these plastic clips to fasten them in place. If these are coming out, I'll need to remove the tune pot. This frame is what the rivet studs into, so it might be easier to remove all the rivets first. Removing the jack nuts allows the output board to be removed. There is a grounding wire going to both halves of the case. Those fasteners will need to come out. To get the grounding wire, the control board will need to be disconnected and demounted. Now the output board is out. Oh, now look there. They used a chunk of PCB material as a spacer.
Okay.
At this point, I've already removed all of the original plastic rivets. Both control boards come out together. Check out the controls. Make sure there's nothing obviously wrong here.
Oh, baby.
Those felt dust covers will need to be removed and replaced for sure. First, I'll check all of the buttons for continuity. But it's not likely that all the momentary switches have failed 100%. But if there are any dead ones there, I want to address them now. Oh snap, the first one is dead. That one is good. Third one is good. Fourth one is good. Fifth one is good. Okay, we see all of them but one is good. And it doesn't account for why the entire button circuit is dead. This is the schematic for the button board. What do we have here? I can see that some capacitors and logic gates are being used as a switch debouncing circuit. Here are some flip-flops. Then the LEDs are turned on and off with some transistors. Supposing there was a problem with one of the LEDs or transistors, that would just affect the LEDs turning on and off. Knowing that our symptom is that none of the buttons are doing anything, that probably isn't the issue. What are the flip-flops doing? Looks like they're sending the button on-off states to the control board. If this were all on a single chip, I'd say that's plausible, but this part uses 3 chips. Not impossible, but I'm gonna guess that all 3 chips didn't go bad at the same time. So these logic gates, again, using 2 chips. So what? One single thing, if anything in this circuit, would stop all of the button activity. I know the board is getting power, otherwise none of the LEDs would light up. My money is on this electrolytic capacitor. It carries the base charge for the whole button line. These smaller capacitors pull the charge when one of the buttons is activated, and shoots a quick trigger to the logic gate, which in turn tells the flip-flop to change its state from high to low, or vice versa. So here I have already replaced the capacitor. I tested the original capacitor while it was in circuit with this ESR meter. But let me show you what the reading is for the original cap. It's saying over 20 ohms, which isn't definitive. Could be a little, or it could be a lot. Could be the electrolytics are breaking down quite a bit for an old capacitor. The ESR for my new cap is about 2 ohms. I've hooked up the connectors to test the controls. The buttons are once again responding. I'm going to say that the issue has been resolved. We won't know fully until we get it all back together. I've desoldered the bad tactile switch, including its LED. It was necessary to remove the entire assembly. I put an X through the bad momentary switch so I wouldn't accidentally put it back in. Turns out I had some new ones for a Poly 6 laying around. It'll do just fine. When I took out the assembly, the tactile switch was seated inside the frame. It is possible to remove the cap by carefully lifting it upward. At the same time, take a mini screwdriver to pry the cap off of the frame. When it's time to put it back on, it will just pop back on there. Here's a view of the back, how the switch goes inside. There are those little notches in the corners of these switches. On the frames, there are little tabs that the notches go into. It should just snap together like this. Now it's all ready to solder back into place. I went ahead and desoldered all of the slide pots. They will get disassembled and cleaned. I won't go into detail, but there's some good videos out there that shows how to do this. I'll need to remove the existing crusty felt material and old glue as much as possible. Here I've already reinstalled all of the slide pots after giving them a light cleaning. Now it's time to fabricate some new felt desk covers. The rigid felt material is available at craft stores. Other people may use neoprene sheets, that's fine too. Just make sure that it's not too thick and you'll be alright. I've sketched up some dimensions on what I need to do. Everything gets laid out onto the felt using a white color pencil. Then I'll use a cork-backed metal ruler and X-Acto knife to cut everything out. We should end up with these rectangles with slits in them. The circular ones just slide down onto the lever posts, but the rectangles will need some kind of adhesive to stay into place. Ah, I love the smell of hot glue in the morning. Smells like victory. Just tack down the edges of the sliders. It will hold it just fine. If the hot glue cools before you can put down the felt, then just remelt what's on there and try again. Well, what do you know, I've actually found a replacement plastic rivets at a local hardware store. The backing needs to be separated from the stud first. The backing goes into the PCB frame bars, which are behind the panel. Then the stud fastens from the front panel. I like to use this product to slow down the rust on the inside of the chassis where you don't see it. Should be available at any sporting goods store. Nothing really stops the rust fully except for a full stripping and eradication. But something like this or WD-40 can slow it down a bit without taking it all down to bare metal. Using several passes and a few swabs, it can take off most of the loose rust. It's stinky stuff, but the smell fades as the residue evaporates. It's now time to put it all back together. Let's check it out. The buttons are working now. Some sliders are still janky. Maybe I should replace those. Man, I like the way the paraphonic synths are gated on retrigger. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.